Hey, let's talk to someone familiar now. We know Trey Griggs. He's the VP of Lean Sales over at Lean Solutions. He's joining us today. You know, we talked about school a little bit too, right? He went to William Jewell College, and I don't know if you knew this, but Brian Knight, Major League umpire, went there. Got me curious too.
Is that right?
Yeah. Trey, if you were going to call an out, you were an umpire in the Major League, give us your best out call.
Out.
I like it. Just a quick punch, right?
Punch. And if I was calling third strike, it's one of these and then right there.
Oh, yeah.
With a high pull.
Yeah, you got to have
high and boom. That's right.
nice.
Yeah, just right there. Yeah. That's right.
Well, you are the Enrico Palazzo of freight and of near shore staffing, so it's great to have you here, Trey. Introduce yourself a little bit to this new maritime audience that we may not often have as many maritime people joining us on What the Truck, so we're happy to have them here. And Trey, introduce yourself to them.
Yeah, that's true. This is actually a division that kind of goes, unspoken a little bit over at Lean, but we work with almost 50 companies in the drayage and freight forwarding space, particularly in the maritime industry, just helping with those back office functions, just like we do with a lot of our customers in the States on the brokerage side as well. So we're very familiar with that, very comfortable with that, been doing that for a long time. And so excited to be here today to talk to a little bit of a new audience and of course be back with you guys. By the way, I have to say, the set looks great. I love those mugs as well. Where am I going to get a redwood mug? Those are legit. Look at those things.
They are legit, my friend.
They're beautiful. Anodized, as Michael Vincent keeps telling me. Holds a nice 18 ounces in this thing.
I've been waiting for somebody to figure out that I'm wrong. I don't know that I'm wrong, though. I might be right.
No, keep it
they are
excellent.
excellent.
Cold too.
I have tested mine personally, and I will tell you that it is excellent.
Yeah. I have great respect for companies that have good mugs. To me, that's a sign of a quality company right there.
Well, hey, we were just talking to Lauren about the congestion at Port of LA. Obviously, a huge theme today. Everyone's dealing with it. Big pain in the butt. What do you think of container get-in right now? And from a Lean Solutions perspective, what are the solutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. We actually call it a container gate. I got my Friday podcast, Word on the Street. We did a lot of talk about that last week in regards, but it's crazy because, in a time like this where it really is a traumatic experience for the entire world, not just for our country, the global pandemic, you see a lot of these situations that are just not normal. And yet you still have companies that are taking advantage and making a lot of money. We actually talked about that. Should there be restrictions on how much you can increase prices during a global pandemic or during a natural disaster when a lot of companies try to make hay? We had some good conversation about that, but I don't know that I'm smart enough to know the answer. I think Laura's much smarter than I. It's always tough to follow somebody like her. But from the perspective of what we offer, we're helping companies, with those back office positions to get things through. So that's where we come into play. But as far as the whole problem and what the solution is, I'm not sure that I have the answer for that.
Well, some would argue that the carriers need to start taking our exports a little bit better, and then the other side says no, they already are. So I mean, it's a he said, she said type of thing going on there. But let's talk about that a little bit more, though. How does Lean impact the freight forwarders and the cargo companies? How can you help them through these trying times right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to build up a satellite office in Colombia with us very quickly. That's our expertise. So you're needing additional staff. I mean, as the volumes continue to rise and the loads that are and the containers that are going through continue to rise in those volumes, you might need some more help in terms of those just processing paperwork and things like that. A couple positions that we help with, on the drayage side, is with the track and trace of ocean containers and POD retrievals and data entry on imports and exports. With freight forwarders, we're helping with a lot of the international pricing of the ocean containers and the bookings requests and cargo inspections. And we're also helping in customs and clearance. So there's several different ways in which we can be of benefit, especially during these times where, again, the volumes come up, the workload comes up, and we do a really great job of setting up a satellite office very quickly down in one of our 5 beautiful cities in Colombia to help with those specific tasks.
Yeah, I mean, COVID has vastly impacted the cost of shipping, not just that $5,000, right, that we're talking about in contract rates. And you're talking about demurrage, which we've talked about substantially, still not a great answer to that. Talking about those lost relationships, canceled sales, all of those kind of things. So it's more important now than ever for shippers and, and carriers as well, and inland carriers here to save a buck and be prepared for these type of situations. Talk a little bit about that cost of shipping and how could Lean potentially help someone mitigate that?
Well, certainly from a cost standpoint, that's where the value prop for us comes into play because you get high quality teams, high quality employees down in Colombia for a fraction of the cost. And so it just helps out over, I mean, a dollar's a dollar and it all adds up. And so we're able to help on two fronts in the sense that you're able to lower your overhead cost, but you're also able to have the high quality performance. For a lot of our companies, they're able to get, two really good employees, sometimes for the price of one here in the States, which can do, twice as much work. So that's all a part of going into the process. It's a small answer to the overall problem, but that's certainly a way to do that. Our expertise in transportation, logistics, and freight forwarding helps out with that as well. We just started a new division, carrier sales, which is helping with, negotiating rates for containers and for trucks and in that area. So there's a lot of ways that not only from the cost of our services, but also from our expertise to be able to help out in that area.
That's a good point, talking about the expertise that you guys have in the specific verticals of transportation and logistics, because make me feel comfortable that my customer relations that I depend on so much for my business during these trying times, right? I got to take care of them. How are you going to make those? How does lean staffing ensure that those relationships stay there at the top of the forefront?
Yeah, well, first it starts with great training, and we have best practices in place from working with over 150 companies in logistics over the past 8 years. And so we start with taking care of the assigned service providers, making sure that they understand the roles, they understand exactly what they're going into, and then from that point on, we do a great job with our clients in terms of building relationships from the Colombian team to their U.S.-based team. We actually use the same software that you guys often use during the icebreakers, the happy hours, because it has the opportunity to go one-on-one with somebody from a different area and get to know them and build relationships. And so we do a great job of fully integrating those employees into the U.S. companies. And again, that goes a long ways in terms of longevity and retention. Our retention rate across our 2,200 employees over the past several years has been over 97%, which has been tremendous. So we put a lot of emphasis on that and make sure that they're trained well, that they're integrated in the companies fully. And that's been a huge part of our success in the last 8 years.
Trey,
Nice.
I think it might be time to spin the wheel.
There it is.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got for him.
0 for 2 on this game. I've never done well on this.
No,
right.
I think you'll do well on this one. I have a hunch that you will. Oh, yeah. See, this is the perfect question for you. You're now an air freshener sold at truck stops. What scent are you, Trey?
Lavender.
Lavender. Interesting. Now, why would you pick lavender? This will give us some. This is like a Rorschach test. So, why would you pick lavender, Trey?
The only reason I chose lavender is because I think there was a skit one time where Will Ferrell talked about lavender as well, and that just always set in my mind. So when that question popped up, I went right to Will Ferrell and went with lavender as a go-to. That's really. But I don't even know if I don't have a good sniffer. I don't even smell very well, so I'm not sure that lavender's that great. But the word sounds great, and Will Ferrell said it, so I went with that.
It's sensitive too, right? It's more of a sensitive.
It is sensitive. I figured, Trey, you'd go with pine tree.
Yeah, or like used Bowie knife or something.
Crest.
Yeah, like hunting season
Ocean
Bowie knife.
spray.
Yeah. Maybe I think I'd like pot roast.
Rat lost in HVAC, like your.
Do they have pot roast or tacos or something?
What about the guy who stole the money? There was a guy. We covered a story about a guy who's stealing PPP money to start a man candle company. It was like Joe's Man Candles or something.
Joe's Man
Remember that guy?
Yes.
Hey, Trey, how do people reach out and learn more and connect with you and get more information about how they can enhance their especially their customer service in times like these? I'm sure they're getting a lot of angry phone calls about where my freight is.
Yeah, certainly. So first of all, look us up on the web at leangroup.com. That's LEAN group.com. You can reach out to me or any of our representatives on LinkedIn as well. So you can find us there, and we're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook as well. So you can find us pretty easily. Check out our website. We have a new website with lots of great information and ready to help customers, especially those in the moments like today that really need help.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to talk to you guys.
Take it easy, Trey.
Thanks, Trey.